Good morning, everybody. This is Diggs. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest, and today we're going to be talking about Soulstone farming. We're also going to be talking about specialty farming, what some of my tricks are, and what this is going to look like in the future, because you are going to want to get ahead of this if you are planning on optimizing your build for the future. So let's go ahead and dig in. First off, I do want to share a quick farming tip with you guys. Right now, you're going to be noticing that I am camping a coffin picking archer. And one of the things you're going to notice is that there is a spawn area for this coffin picking archer, and I'm able to kill him immediately whenever he spawns. And I think this is something a lot of players struggle with, where when they're farming soulstones, when they're farming specialties, they will just dump their character on top of the pack and just murder the pack nonstop. And that's really easy in lower levels when you're farming like earlier tier soulstones. When you start farming higher tier soulstones and monsters start living for a while, what can happen is your character can get distracted fighting the other monsters and not necessarily kill the soulstone monster as soon as they spawn. So how do I tackle this? It's what you see exactly on screen. Is I position my character so that I can kill the archer as soon as he spawns. Now, if you're going to do this, you're going to want to be very careful with your settings, especially if you're using aromas. So for example, I'm using aromas right now and I've been watching my character, but I do have 2 or 3 settings here on. And I'll show you what they are. They are my auto battle distance, right? So you'll notice this polar bear is hitting me. Some of the other polar bears are hitting me and I'm not moving, right? And that's because I have auto battle counter outside of range off, right? I also have skill movement restriction on. Your character will move a little bit, and you saw that my character did move back. This is pretty much how you keep your character stationary and you kill the monster that spawns with the priority, right? So even though I'm getting attacked by all of these polar bears, my character, because they're outside of range, is going to prioritize the archer first. Now, this is one of those situations that, again, you're going to want to be very careful with when you're setting up, but this is an example of how you can focus target a monster if maybe they're on the edge of a pack, or maybe your character gets distracted killing other monsters and you're just wasting time. This is kind of how I approach it. And for some of the harder farming soulstones, or the soulstones that are really spread out, or the specialties that are really spread out, this method does seem to be the fastest, and it's definitely better than hand clicking on the enemy every single time. In terms of actual records, though, what you should prioritize, I do think there is a case to be made here to prioritize the puzzles. Now, the puzzles are pretty much, once you get to a certain point, either in the specialties or the soulstones. So you can see here in Winter Wonderland is a great example. They are in the specialties. Hop over here. And it's actually one of the more important puzzles. So when you come in here at 16 stars, you'll notice this is the deer page. And for those of you who aren't familiar with puzzles or kind of have low-key forgotten about them, this is important because the deer actually gives direct accuracy. And a lot of these puzzles give accuracy and crit. And accuracy is one of those stats in the game that is extremely hard to get. If you've ever been in a situation where you try and get accuracy for your characters, you'll realize the only real sources of accuracies are gems, helmets, earrings. That's pretty much it. There are other small sources of accuracy, but that's the majority of where your accuracy is going to come from. So when you are looking at soulstones and you're looking at specialties, you really need to prioritize these puzzle books. And I definitely think the deer page, everybody should be prioritizing, because especially when you start going into the higher levels or when you're trying to level up your alts, every bit of accuracy is critically important. And so you are going to find yourself needing to do these things. And another thing that you're going to need to find yourself doing is stocking items. And you'll notice here, and you'll notice if you've kind of gone through and leveled any of these specialties, particularly the specialties, the soulstones less so, but the specialties, you do need to trade for an item from the merchant that travels around. So in order to get, for example, the Winter Wonderland specialty, or the Winter Wonderland puzzle, you need to get 16 stars. Well, if you farmed all of the other items, you only have 15 stars. You need 16. So you are going to need to trade to get at least 1 star from the merchant. And once you get further in, once you get to the Burning Desert, right? You're going to take a look here. You're actually going to need 25 stars. So you're actually going to need, in order to unlock this cross puzzle piece, you're going to need to get all 25 of these filled up all the way. And that means you're going to have to trade with the merchant multiple times in order to be successful. Now, thankfully, there are only a few that are blocked off this way. You can see that Witch's Woods doesn't have this. Woebegone's Wilds does have it, where you have to trade with the merchant again. And Rainbow Valley does not have it. So they do alternate, but the two that you want to watch out for is Burning Desert in the future and Woebegone Wilds. And if you're someone who is planning on playing this game long term, you're planning on, you know, tackling these eventually, or you want to tackle them sooner than later, the wall that you're going to encounter is actually the trading with the traveling merchant. And what you may want to do is you may want to go ahead of time. The traveling merchant always sells items in instances of 30, right? You may want to go ahead of time and gather all of these items. I know it's really easy just to hit register all and to put everything in. I think it would be better for everybody if you went right now, if you have access to Burning Desert, you farmed up these Soulstones, you'll get some good EXP, especially if you have access to Burning Desert. Farmed up 30 of each, 60 of each, and just held on to them to trade with the traveling merchant whenever they appear in the desert. Because if you consider how many of these you're going to need, right? Assuming that this goes 50, 150, 300, 400, 500, right? That's 1,000 times. That's going to be almost trading with the merchant minimum 30 times in order to max out these items. Probably even more. And that's assuming that you have the items every time the merchant appears in that zone. And I understand that, you know, this is very long term and this is very much planning. And I myself, because the Burning Desert is higher level, same with Woebegone Wilds, I don't have an excess of these materials to farm and to camp. But these are things that you could start now if you are a higher end player, to kind of prepare yourself in order to be successful in the future. And I do think this and Soulstone farming are going to be pretty vital in terms of the amount of HP that they give, as well as the amount of stats that they give. And you can always consider that the pieces that you put in can have more accuracy on them, right? You should be optimizing for the up and right L block, or the square block, which gives attack, and then the L block gives, or the up and right block, it's not the L block, gives accuracy. So you need to start planning these things. You need to think about these things, because this is going to be the long term. And if you aren't doing it now, you're going to be hurting yourself in the future. Also, you get a lot of puzzle pieces from clearing all of these, right? Like, I have a 16-star goal right now in Cloud Coil Canyon. I could go and grab that. I've just been focusing on getting my puzzles, though. Like, I could go and get, like, how many do I have here? I have one. I have some tickets here, which are kind of useless. I probably have some tickets there, which are useless, but then I have 6 puzzle pieces here. So I'm pretty sure every Soulstone in every area has almost 3 to 6. I believe it is, yeah, 3 to 6 for each one. And if it doesn't have 6, it looks like it has a puzzle piece. So definitely one of those worthwhile things to do. I personally prefer to farm Soulstones and specialties with aromas only. There are a couple of times that I have experimented with non-aroma farming for Soulstones recently. I have found that if you are doing a monster that is, for example, like these packs that I'm fighting right now have polar bears in them. You see the polar bears throwing the spears at me. There's, you know, like 2 or 3 of them per pack. I could probably farm polar bear Soulstones without an aroma here, because there's so many of them. I could just kill them so fast. I would actually have a decent drop rate without an aroma. However, farming these archers like this is so painful without an aroma. This is a situation where I would probably prioritize aroma use, and then I could auto farm my Soulstones otherwise. A great example of this, if you guys are in Winter Wonderland right now, is these guys right here, the Shadow Lowland Creepers. The packs that these spawn at drop meat, they drop eggs, they drop chests, they drop a whole bunch of really good items. And there's, I believe, 2 or 3 of these creepers per pack. So you can literally plant your character between 2 packs and just kill nonstop. I auto AFK'd there probably for about 8 hours, multiple times over the last couple of days, and I would get about 100 Soulstones for creepers at a time. So some of these are definitely, if you're wanting to optimize, better to be farmed with aromas than others. Some of them are easy to just plant your character in AFK and farm there. Others, like the ranged units in particular, I think it's the ranged ones that are really the difficult ones, are definitely ones that you will want to use your aroma on. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hopefully this video helps a lot of you guys. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this type of content. I look forward to making more content for you guys. I have a great math video that's going to come out tomorrow, and I will catch you guys next time.